I've raised almost close to 20,000 for them over the past 5 years. Wow, is it that much? Wow, I didn't even realize. And so we just finished our fifth project in September, and that's the one I did the meditation room for the first time. I'm like, I've never done a meditation room because I have a team of designer stagers, so I'm not as much out in the field doing all the staging anymore.
Good morning. Welcome to the Posner Property Perspective Podcast. We're going to have an exciting session today. We're going to find out how color and design can help your home, and also how giving back to the community, which is so important. We're here with Krisztina Bell, who is a well-known home stager. She's known throughout the U.S. She's one of the top 100 most influential people in home staging. She participates in a class here at Emory University, which I'm alumni of. And she also helps with a nonprofit, which I can't wait to hear more about, which is Furnishing with Love. So I'm going to ask Krisztina just to give a little bit about, how did you get into design and home staging? How did that come about?
Sure. Actually, I've had my real estate license since 2003. And did a little bit of selling, but it wasn't really that. It was more the marketing of the homes. I was mostly on the sales side and helped my clients get their homes ready to sell. And my friends were like, I don't know, this looks like something that you're really good at. Can you come over to my listing? And then all of a sudden in 2005, I started my own home staging business. And in 2006-07, my husband was debating his job, and he's like, you know what? Your numbers are looking really good, because he's a corporate finance guy. And so I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, but we need to build this up. We need to. I'm like, okay, whatever you think. And believe it or not, here we are 20 years later. We're celebrating our 20-year anniversary this year of staging of vacant homes all over Atlanta. And it's been so exciting, as well as I've been the last 3 or 4 years doing a lot of what I call collaboration marketing. Because once you're in the business 5 years, 10 years, everybody gets to know you, but how do you kind of advance yourself, or how do you stay fresh and up to date with what's happening in the industry? And what I found is that collaboration marketing works really well, meaning I also work with other stagers. We refer business here in Atlanta to each other. I don't do it all. So, and then I've collaborated with industry vendors that I love, some photographers, paint color consultants. I mean, these are things that agents need when they're trying to market a home and get it ready to show condition. And then, of course, as you mentioned, a nonprofit, which will be fun to talk about here. So yeah, that's kind of how it all began. That's crazy, 20 years ago.
So it's so important for a home when you walk in that door, I don't want to call it the wow factor, but you do want to feel that warmth and that excitement, and it has to be inviting. And sometimes, especially with homes that have been fixed and flipped, and they decided to make it open concept and it wasn't originally designed that way. Yeah. Really think having a stager come in and help people envision how to use those rooms is so important. And do you use their own furniture? Do you bring in furniture? How do you handle that?
So we specialize in staging of vacant properties mostly. That's all of our business. So these are empty spaces. They could be model homes. They could be someone who's moved out of the property, bought another house. It could be a flip or renovation. And we do a lot of those because we work with believe it or not, investors are now seeing the value of home staging. Yay.
Yeah.
It's kind of like, finally, you're getting it now. And so we work with a lot with investors here in Atlanta, especially. Atlanta is a big city. It's always a top 5, top 10 city, hundreds of people moving here every day. So we're very fortunate to live in a city that is still, feel like every little city is under construction here in Atlanta. And things are expanding outside the city areas and going down south. We have the entertainment industry here, which is still thriving as well. So it really makes for plenty of business to go around for many stagers here in Atlanta. We don't specialize in occupied, but we don't really do too much exterior spaces, but we really focus on connecting and building relationships with these type of clients, because when it comes to vacant homes, they're empty. It's hard to envision, like you mentioned, where the furnishings go. And sometimes there's unique floor plans, there's different layouts, open spaces that where's the living, the dining, and hence almost the dining room I feel like is almost going away, to be honest. It's more lounging spaces. People are really spending more time in their homes and they're utilizing their homes. Thank you to COVID, because we sat in our homes quite a bit. Worked from home and all that. So all the flex spaces are really important now. I mean, we're doing yoga rooms. I just designed a meditation room for a project we did with the Furnish With Love organization. So it's interesting to see things changing a little bit in the
You mentioned
staging
because
design.
a lot of people don't want the formal dining room.
Yeah.
They really do not want a formal living room. I would
No.
say 9 out of 10 times that is becoming either an office space or it's
Yeah.
becoming a children's play area. It's
Yeah.
so you have to, I think being able to stage is so important. One of the things we did on a project we had, it was a 3-level house, but the main entrance was the bottom floor. And you didn't get to your kitchen and living room space until you went up one flight of stairs.
Right.
And people just could not imagine what
Right.
to do with that downstairs space. And it was an investor. And when I got them convinced we need to stage it, we got an offer in like 10 days. And it had been on the market, not getting offers. But the minute people saw, like you said, spaces to gather, a workout room, that extra bedroom, sometimes even in the bedrooms, they look at a room and go, well, is a king size bed going to fit? Is a queen going to fit or full in one of the smaller rooms? How am I going to set it up for my child or my teenager? So staging it can really help envision.
And that's one of the many benefits. Envision how to lay out furnishings, really define the rooms so that people can make that emotional connection, like you said. They just don't feel it. A vacant room also too is going to look smaller once we get the furniture in it. It's actually going to make the room appear larger, which is another benefit of staging too. Besides adding value to the property as well. Some instances it can come into giving a higher appraisal value as well. So this is the types of things that I talk about in my home staging CE classes too, to real estate agents, because they don't think about all this, but they also don't explain this in some instances to their clients, and trying to encourage them to do the staging. Yeah, you tapped on some good points.
I think the statistics show that staging can add like almost 10% to the value of the home when they from offers to appraising, like you mentioned. So it's definitely an important feature. And I think when we're looking at staging a home, we have to kind of keep in mind, who are we marketing the home to?
Exactly.
What's the neighborhood like? Who is it going to attract? And in one of the houses in the garage, the stager put kayaks and different things because you know what? It was close to outdoor parks and places you were going to do a lot of outdoor activity. And they wanted to show that there was plenty of room in this garage for your quote, quote, toys.
We're
It's
going all that
important to
these
get a
days, a
sense.
little bit more, because these millennials are challenging us a little bit too. They want all the bells and the whistles and they want to see all that. But it's staging's been around since the 1970s, crazy enough, but it's changing. I think people are understanding they need to use it. You've seen it on the HGTV shows. They use it as well there. So all good points about staging. And of course, it does work. It can get fewer days on market for a property, especially if it's a second or third agent that comes in too.
You had mentioned that you teach some classes. What are some of the pointers you give to agents for when they're talking to potential sellers and trying to explain to them staging? What are like the top 3 things you would tell an agent?
One, but you want buyers to be able to envision how to lay out the space, as we mentioned. That's the biggie. And 2, to get it in its most marketable condition. They need to sell it fast. Agents want to get a listing and they want to get it up. They want to get it sold quickly. They want that commission check, of course. But at the same time, the only way to do that is to have the home in its most marketable condition, which is going to allow for more attractive photos online. That's the thing, because it's not so much at the curb appeal. I mean, it used to be back in the day, but now it's kind of a little bit of both. It's online, and the photos have to attract and drive that buyer traffic to the property in the beginning. So they're going to go online immediately and look. And of course, Instagram and social media, if the agents are posting it there, video is so important now, more and more than ever before, too. So those are the biggies. And then again, I think the appraisal value too, if they're trying to match that or trying to get as close to the asking price as possible, every little bit helps, is what I always tell the agents as well as the sellers. Because I find sometimes sellers calling us saying, yes, I want to learn more about your staging. How much does it cost? I can't believe my agent didn't even mention this to me. And I'm
Right.
like, what? That's not good.
I'm
So those
about to
three things
list a
are
home. I'm about to list a home right now. And one of the things we've talked about is if in the first 2 weeks we're not getting enough traction, we're going to stage the home. They were a little resistant, and that also means me then having to get the photographer back out there to do second pictures. But when people are swiping nowadays, empty bedrooms just look like an empty room. And it doesn't, you have to find a feature that's going to catch everyone's eye. And this particular one happens to have a beautiful sunroom. And I'm like, oh, if this was staged, that's going to make a wow statement. And somehow we have to attract someone's attention when they're swiping. I think they say they spend less than 3 seconds on an image. So we've got to get their attention because that's the draw to getting them in.
yeah.
So those photos are so important.
Oh, yeah. 85% of buyers say it's the photos that get them to call the agents and go view that property. It's the most important thing they're looking
Tell us a little bit of how Furnished with Love came about.
for. Oh, you're excited about that Furnished with Love.
I am.
And I know, so exciting. It is, and I'm going in this is our 5th year collaborating. And 5 years ago, I got an email from an agent that said, Krisztina, this nonprofit, it might be a good fit. It sounds like something that could be interesting. Maybe you could donate. And I'm like, okay, I'll look into it. And I've been wanting to collaborate with a nonprofit. I collaborate with vendors, I collaborate with other stagers, and I'm like, okay, I just need that one nonprofit that I like to collaborate with. And this was it. We stage 40 to 50 houses in Decatur, and this particular organization is based in Decatur. I'm like, well, that's not far from our offices either. And I want to donate some furnishings and decor, but I don't want to take it to Goodwill or other places because it's just not gonna, it just doesn't feel like it would get used for a good cause in some instances. And that's what I wanted to find as well. So it was kind of just the perfect fit. And I wanted to be a partner with that organization and being like a main big name partner next to some other big name logos on their website. And so Furnish with Love is now in their 6th year, actually, based in Decatur. And they furnish homes for families coming out of homeless shelters that have been through a program, though. So they really deserve the furnishings, decor, and all the efforts that we put into decorating home, because they just finished a program where mom or dad and the kids are now ready to get back into living and being safe and feeling comfortable at home. Mom's got a job now, kids are in school and such. And so it's a big step because basically they're coming out of that program with maybe a couple bags of clothes and a blow up bed, and that's about it. They don't have anything else, no furniture, no food. I mean, like everything. So this is kind of what we do. I raise money every year. These CE classes that I teach, I take the ticket sales from Eventbrite and basically raise $2,500 to $3,500 a year. And I've raised almost close to 20,000 for them over the past 5 years, which is crazy because they're featuring me in their newsletter. And I'm like, wow, is it that much? Wow, I didn't even realize. And so we just finished our 5th project in September. And that's the one I did the meditation room for the first time. I'm like, I have never done a meditation room because I have a team of designer stagers. So I'm not as much out in the field doing all the staging anymore. We've got moving trucks and movers and a whole crew. So I'm kind of more behind the scenes in marketing and such. But this gives me the opportunity to be able to take a day off and decorate that home. And we had a great time. And it's always very rewarding because the mom or the family, to me, it's about the kids because they want a place to call home. And so I really go all out. I mean, we buy like games, sometimes DVD, all kinds of decorating and toys and who knows what. I mean, anything that they mention, I'm like, I'll take care of it. We'll get it and things like that. And so they're always either it's a happy-go-lucky scene, or they're crying, or we actually did a prayer at the end where we all came around in a circle, and the mom just wanted to say a little prayer that she was so thankful that this has happened to her. And so it's just every project that we do, I never know what to expect, but in the end, it's always very rewarding. And I've gotten agents and some of our clients involved, and some other stagers in Atlanta involved that have donated, or volunteering is big, and they're going to have a big pop-up sale coming up soon too. So they do that two
Well,
times
this
a
would be
year.
something I would like to probably get involved in and get my clients involved in. I also wonder, like, do they take donations from estate sales? Like a lot of times at the end, we're finding like dining room tables aren't selling
Yeah.
right now, kitchen cabinet, china cabinets, and sometimes we have beds that are in really in pretty good. There's different furniture that can be
They have
donated,
a
some
list
can't.
of furniture items. Mostly it's going to be furniture pieces. As far as mattresses and things, they usually, that's the money that we
Maybe
raise
they get
money
new.
for,
Yeah, I
because they
realized
purchase
after
brand
that.
new ones.
Yeah.
But yeah, they have a list of furniture items that you can always donate anytime. Literally, we went to see the Serenbe Show House, and one of the hosts that was there was talking about, she had heard about us. Who are you with? And Furnish with Love. She's like, I'd like to donate. And before we even left, we were donating, like I think we got a donation of like $500. She was so curious and loved the organization, and so we were so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, we didn't expect that. But I've been helping them out with some business marketing consulting, and I've been putting on a coffee kindness event. So that might be an event you might want to join us. We're
Okay.
going to do another one in January coming up in the new year, and it's a great way to kind of learn more about the organization. We do it every other month, and it's really helped a lot to get the word out about the organization. And we've got sponsors. Even my dad sponsored Bunny. He doesn't even live here, so he's in Florida, and he's a sponsor of the pop-up shops that they do two times a year. So yeah, it's really fun, and it's just really made a difference for me to give back, because it's taken me a long time to build up my business, but it's thanks to the Atlanta agents and everybody and all my friends that I've met in Atlanta, because I'm not from here originally. Since I was 27, moved here, so I wanted to give back in some way. So that's how it's working out
And
so
it is,
far, and we love it.
it's important to give back. I think we all have to
It
remember to
is.
come from gratitude. And being a realtor, I really appreciate. I'm helping someone find their home. You probably don't know this about, but I owned a bridal store in Atlanta for 25 years, and we
Oh,
went from
wow.
saying yes to the dress to yes to the address.
Oh,
And
I love
a
that.
lot of,
That's great.
but when you're helping someone find their home, this is really important because when you were mentioning the children earlier, there's statistics that show how much better they do in school.
Yeah,
And if they have a place that they can call their own and have it's so important. And the home life, just the the love that can come from a home. It's not just a quote house. It's the feeling, the security you can give. So helping give back to some people who've gone through hard times and now seeing them succeed is really special. And I think a lot of people, when they're going through the home process, it's stressful. And knowing that they can give back to others would be a nice way of tying it in and showing that gratitude from finding your home to helping someone else find a home would be
yeah.
a good tie-in. So I think that would be something I'd like to pursue, especially in this upcoming year.
Oh yeah,
I
there's
just,
always it's a goal that would be great, and I hope that more agents and some of our clients, and there's even a ton of designers too that participate as well. So yeah, we look forward to it. Sure.
yeah, designing
Always
is
need
important.
volunteers.
We will, because the design of the home and the flow is so important for not only its just usability, but to develop, like you mentioned, you may put games in the room. So maybe you design a room that's kind of more of a play area for the kids, but that's conducive to getting them away from just all the video games and the
Right.
electronics. We have to, sometimes I feel we got to go back to the basics. Building a reading nook. One of my new listings, I would consider the kids' room. It's got the high cathedral ceilings, and there's a little nook area where you could put a ladder up to it and put cushions and pillows up there and put lighting and make it into a reading nook. And I thought, what a great space. It's kind of like a little hidden
Yeah.
little gem in that house. So
Yeah, positive energy and just being able to relax and break away. That's break away from the norm, in other words. And I think we're going to see a lot of that going into 2026 as a trend as well. That it's the I was reading an article and they're talking about people going on vacations and they're like, no, 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 it's a calmcation. They want calming now, even away from home. They still want to put down the phone. They want to not maybe take a break from all the technology and such. So we're going to see a lot more of that, I think, as a trend, because again, that was the first time doing a meditation room, and she did that literally in the front living room area. So she didn't want a living room. That was actually the meditation room, and then it flowed into a dining area. The family room was the new living space. So yeah, things are changing for sure.
are you seeing any new trends and colors coming about for this coming year?
Yes, actually, we're basically seeing warm colors. There's a lot of white. People are painting white, but I think we're going to go to more warm whites and maybe even see some beigey tones. Atlanta's a little bit behind when it comes to trends a little bit. We're always a couple years behind versus New York, Texas, and California. So I really think the warmer beiges, we're going to see a little bit of that earthy tone a little bit. Sherwin-Williams color of the year just came out for 2026, which is called Universal Khaki. And then also too, Behr just came out with their new paint, which almost has a little bit of a grayish brown tone, so very earthy again. And then Behr with Hidden Gem was a kind of earthy green tone. So definitely we're seeing that a little bit there, but some classics, which I noticed, because Universal Khaki is a color that anything will go with that. The other thing too is that next year, think about it, it's going to be an actual celebration for us because it's called the America 250. So we're going to be celebrating our independence next year. So there's a little bit of that, I think, meaning that historic, that means that we're having that vintage. It's almost like we're going back to people want vintage pieces in their homes, that kind of more historical, tells a story type pieces. So that's going to be interesting to see as we head into 2026. So kind of more making rooms and spaces in our homes, like you mentioned, that are more calming, more positive vibe type, breaking away from the technology a little bit. We'll see a lot of that, maybe a lot more texture and earthy and more artsy kind of feel, but also vintage as well. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm excited.
We're looking forward to 2026. And Krisztina, I hope I get the opportunity to collaborate with you, both with Furnishing Homes. I work with a lot of the investors, and then with Furnish With Love. I think that would be a great opportunity. And we look forward to 2026. And below, we're going to have different links. So if you need to get in touch with Krisztina, either to use her to help you stage your upcoming home or to get involved with Furnish With Love, that'll all be available for you. Thank you for coming on today.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks for tuning into the Posner Property Perspective. I hope you enjoyed today's episode and found it helpful as you navigate your real estate journey. Remember, whether you're buying, selling, or just exploring the market, I'm here to help to make the process smooth, exciting, and stress-free. Let's take the next step together. Contact me today. I'd love to hear from you and make your real estate wishes come true.